Streets of Rage, the fighting game that'll knock your socks off, with 40 individually controllable attack moves, and a neighborhood crawling with punks, muggers, and urban slime.
There was a lot of this in the early 90s, wasn't there? It's interesting. Someone should do some sort of study on how much the young male fantasy has changed. Has it changed? I'm not sure. It certainly feels like back then, a lot of us found it really appealing to be doling out violent vigilante justice to criminal punks. We were super into law enforcement through fists and feet to the face, it turns out. Sega wasn't just going to let Nintendo have the home port of Final Fight without some sort of response. Not when the Mega Drive was the console for super tough dudes with attitude. So we got Streets of Rage, often considered just Sega's version of Final Fight that never appeared in arcades. This was a console exclusive, which made it all the more desirable. The sprites are a bit smaller, obviously, and the backgrounds do a lot of repetitive scrolling, but that kind of game is all pretty much present and accounted for. Plenty of enemies with decent variety, punches, kicks, throws, and absolutely killer music again. Actually, this music is so good, I bet you I could put it to cuts of an amazing cop show, hang on. Yeah, there you go, you see. So, here you've got your three characters, black guy, white guy, and girl guy, translating to strong, balanced, and fast. No boundaries are being broken here, there's no new ground being covered. The one little gameplay wrinkle they threw in to set this apart is that, instead of having a special move, where Hagar spins round so hard he literally hurts himself, you get one token per level to use on a call for a backup, screen-clearing support attack. Each character gets their own unique support attack, all of which show up in a cop car at the start of the level and shoot some heavy ordnance into a populated area. It's all good, wholesome stuff. You also get a cool choice at the end if you manage to make it all the way through the bike punks and flying axes. Oh, and these girls. So at the end, the main baddie asks you to join him. In one player, you either say no and fight the last boss, or you say yes and you get tricked by getting demoted back a few stages. But in two-player mode, each player gets to choose, and if they disagree, they fight to the death. The winner then fights the last boss, and if they win, they take over the crime syndicate. That's a pretty cool twist for a game of this era. There are some neat touches here and there too, such as the game taking into account the horizontal nature of your baseball and lead pipe swings, which means you don't have to be exactly in the same 2D plane as your opponent for those attacks to connect. You can also land on your feet after being thrown if you press up and jump quick enough to avoid taking damage. And while, yes, the lift, or for my American friends, elevator level was a cliche even in 1991, you can throw people off it, which never stops being fun. You can also glass people with what looks like Newcastle Brown Ale bottles, which turns this from a Japanese power fantasy into a Geordie documentary, which I appreciate. While the Mega Drive had a number of quite accurate arcade ports like Altered Beast and Golden Axe, it was ironically this console exclusive that really made me feel like the console was having an arcade machine at home. It would be entirely eclipsed by its own sequel not long after, but we'll get to that another time. For now, know that Streets of Rage is most definitely one of the 121 best games of all time.